It's hard to believe it's been 32 years since Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman first aired back in 1993. The show told a touching story about a female doctor on the American frontier, filled with heartfelt moments, strong characters, and powerful messages. It was once one of the most beloved TV series of the 1990s. So where are the stars of the show now in 2025? In this video, we'll reunite with the cast that captured so many hearts and take a closer look at their lives, careers, and the surprising turns they've taken since the show ended. Some have continued to shine in Hollywood, while others have taken unexpected paths. Let's explore the special journey of the characters after Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman ended a journey full of surprises, heartfelt moments, and sometimes very real-life struggles. Let's look back at the past and compare it with the present to see that every character, whether on-screen or off, has a story worth listening to. Have you ever watched Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman? If yes, comment with 1. If not, leave a 0. Who is your favorite character in the show? Dr. Quinn Sully or Colleen? Don't hesitate to share your feelings below. Enjoy the video and please hit subscribe if you love nostalgic content, cinema, and the journeys of stars beyond the screen. Orson Bean, born on July 22, 1928, played Lauren Bray, the grumpy but warm-hearted store manager in Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman when he was 65 years old. Lauren embodied humor and old-fashioned conservatism brought to life in the town of Colorado Springs. However, Orson's life was not as sweet as the character he portrayed. He was once blacklisted during the McCarthy era due to his left-wing associations, struggled with depression, and battled substance addiction before making a remarkable personal comeback. Later in life, Orson became a conservative Christian commentator. His marriage to actress Alley Mills, who was 23 years his junior, attracted attention due to allegations of his controlling behavior. Although he identified as a liberal, some of his public statements were sometimes considered conspiracy theories, which irritated the media. Nonetheless, he found peace in life after many ups and downs. In the early years of his career, he often clashed with producers over creative control and was alienated by some in the industry because of his erratic behavior. Orson Bean passed away on February 7, 2020, at the age of 91. Nick Ramus, born on September 9, 1929, played Cheyenne Chief Black Kettle, a man who deeply yearned for peace when he was 64 years old. On screen, he radiated dignity and authority, but Ramus's real life was marked by hardship and chaos. As a veteran and Native American, Ramus faced many barriers in the Hollywood entertainment industry, which rarely cast Native actors. He often accepted roles that didn't align with his personal values just to survive. His frustration and bitterness often erupted publicly through conferences and interviews. Ramus was known for being difficult, and some producers labeled him as hard to please. In his personal life, he went through many turbulent relationships and was once accused of emotional neglect by one of his children. In his later years, Ramus faced financial difficulties and lived quietly, largely unnoticed. He passed away on May 30, 2007, at the age of 77 from an undisclosed cause, and his name was nearly forgotten by the industry. Larry Sellers, born on October 2, 1949, played Cloud Dancing, a noble Cheyenne doctor in Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman when he was 44 years old. His character was not only a moral compass, but also carried a special spiritual depth. However, Larry's real life bore much heavier burdens than the calm persona he portrayed on screen. Larry was deeply involved in preserving Native American culture, but his own community sometimes criticized him for roles that some viewed as stereotypical or sanitized. Larry's passion for cultural preservation often put him at odds with the writers over how traditions were portrayed, and he even walked off set mid-production due to disagreements with the working methods. Beneath his outwardly cold demeanor were years of emotional distance from his family, especially his children. There were rumors of a bitter divorce accompanied by prolonged financial struggles. Larry Sellers passed away on December 9, 2021, at the age of 72, leaving behind a complex legacy centered around cultural representation and inner turmoil. Jorgen Johnson, born on August 15, 1926, appeared as Elizabeth Quinn, a wealthy, proud woman carrying silent regrets when she was 67 years old. She had a shining career during the golden age of television, but faced many challenges that came at a cost. Her marriage to actor Stanley Prager was reportedly controlling, preventing her from taking lead roles, and stalling her career for many years. After his passing, she openly shared about the emotional losses and the feeling of being sidelined. Although known for her charming appearance, Jorgen Johnson quietly battled depression for decades while maintaining a perfect public image. She also expressed frustration at being cast mostly in motherly roles during the later stage of her career. Despite having no scandals, casting circles often rumored that she was cold and difficult. Jorgen Johnson passed away on June 4, 2018, at the age of 91, leaving behind the image of a life filled with elegance, but also marked by quiet restraint. June Carter Cash, born on June 23, 1929, appeared in Dr. Quinn in 1993 at the age of 64, playing Sister Ruth, a gentle mother who provided spiritual guidance in a town full of conflict and prejudice. June was celebrated for her illustrious musical legacy and her iconic marriage to Johnny Cash. However, few knew that their private life was filled with turmoil. June and Johnny's relationship was heavily tested by Johnny's drug addiction and June's struggles with depression and anxiety. Her career also faced many setbacks and was often overshadowed by her husband's fame, despite her being a Grammy-winning artist. Her previous marriages, especially to singer Carl Smith, also ended bitterly amid allegations of infidelity. Her children, particularly John Carter Cash, openly shared about the emotional wounds caused by the family's turmoil. June also experienced a long-lasting identity crisis, caught between the devout image she portrayed and the darker truths of her personal life. She passed away on May 15, 2003, at the age of 73, due to complications following heart surgery. Her passing closed a chapter full of glory, but also layered with emotional depths that continue to be explored and understood today. Johnny Cash, born on February 26, 1932, played the wandering gunslinger Kid Cole in Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman when he was 61 years old. His role was filled with sorrow, reflecting the real-life demons he faced. Not only was he a country music legend, but Johnny also struggled with amphetamine addiction, was arrested, came close to suicide, and had a long-dependent relationship with June Carter. His erratic behavior led to many of his songs being banned from radio stations, and he once collapsed on stage from exhaustion caused by drug use. In the 1970s, he caused a severe forest fire while under the influence of drugs, threatening the survival of an endangered vulture species. This scandal somewhat buried his appearance in Dr. Quinn, which was seen as a form of atonement. Many in the industry recall the times he was undergoing continuous rehab, with his memory deteriorating throughout the filming process. Johnny was also haunted by guilt over neglecting his daughters during their growing years, especially his troubled relationship with Kathy, who later spoke out about his abandonment. Johnny Cash passed away on September 12, 2003, just a few months after June's death at the age of 71. Richard Moll, born on January 13, 1943, played the role of John in Dr. Quinn in 1994 when he was 51 years old. John was an unsettling character with a large physique, contributing to the tense atmosphere of the town of Colorado Springs. Moll is best known for his role as Bull in Night Court, but after the show ended, he struggled to find serious acting roles. His height and deep voice often typecast him into certain kinds of roles. Moll's personal life was also turbulent. 2 divorces accompanied by legal battles over assets and child custody. People who were close to him accused him of emotional manipulation and instability. Despite his calm appearance, Moll was reportedly often involved in conflicts on set, particularly in how he treated female directors who refused to listen to his suggestions, even openly criticizing them. Many colleagues reported feeling offended and stressed working with him due to his sudden outbursts of anger and distant, unpredictable attitude. After the spotlight of his television career faded, Richard Moll gradually became reclusive, avoiding the media and almost completely withdrawing from public appearances. He battled a chronic illness that was never widely disclosed, which took a heavy toll on both his physical and mental health. Richard Moll passed away on October 26, 2023, at the age of 80. His death came as a surprise and left fans with a sense of regret, especially because of the little-known struggles of loneliness and inner turmoil he faced in his final years. Keach Sr., born on May 29, 1914, played Judge Webster in Dr. Quinn in 1996 at the age of 82. His character represented justice on the frontier, blending moral integrity with sharp legal reasoning. However, Keach's life off-screen was full of challenges. He was often overshadowed by his son, Stacy Keach Jr., a star who was more successful in both film and television. The tension between father and son was widely known in the entertainment industry, with many stories about Keach Sr.'s frustration when he was referred to as Stacy's dad at auditions. In his youth, he struggled with severe alcoholism, and his bouts of anger were believed to have cost him many stage roles during the 1960s and 70s. Although he had a long marriage, many felt it was more of a partnership than true love, especially after an affair with a young actress was uncovered, nearly ending his career. Despite this, he remained respected by his colleagues. His bitterness over his overshadowed position in the industry was evident in interviews during his later years. Keach Sr. passed away on February 13, 2003 at the age of 88 due to congestive heart failure. Pamela Koch, born on May 10, 1928, played Martha, the simple and traditional woman of the town in Dr. Quinn in 1993 at the age of 65. Her television legacy spanned decades, but her real life was not as peaceful as it seemed. As an immigrant from England in the 1950s, Pamela never fully fit into the Hollywood world. She harbored much bitterness because she was often overlooked for leading roles and only cast in parts as mothers or housekeepers, while lesser talents were favored. She once sued a small production company after being abruptly fired due to her age, but the case was quietly settled. In her personal life, Pamela remained single, but had a decades-long romance with a younger co-star, which ended painfully when he married someone else. Friends described her as intelligent but emotionally volatile, sometimes withdrawing into long silences and experiencing cold treatment from colleagues. Pamela Koch passed away on May 4, 2022 at the age of 93 from natural causes. George Firth, born on December 14, 1932, played Jedediah Braftoft, an eccentric and somewhat comical character in Dr. Quinn in 1993 at the age of 61. Off-screen, Firth was a talented playwright, but struggled deeply with insecurities about his sexual orientation, which he kept private for most of his life. Although he collaborated with legends like Stephen Sondheim, FTH always felt like an outsider both on stage and on screen. His career declined after the 1980s, leading to depression and withdrawal from the spotlight. He was known for canceling rehearsals and clashing with directors, once walking out on a Broadway play when he was not credited as co-director. Friends said he lived much of his life in loneliness, emotionally distant from family and colleagues. George Firth passed away on August 11, 2008, at the age of 75 from lung cancer. His final years were overshadowed by a feeling of never truly belonging anywhere, according to a close friend. Despite his many career achievements, he carried an emptiness and quiet sadness over the lack of genuine connection in his relationships. He rarely shared his private life and often kept his thoughts and feelings to himself, making it difficult for those around him to understand him. Perhaps it was this sensitivity and reserved nature that gradually pushed him away from the world, leading him to leave quietly, just as he had lived most of his life. Edward Albert, born on February 20, 1951, played Dr. William Burke in Dr. Quinn in 1993 when he was 42 years old. His character was beloved for his gentleness and empathy, offering a rare glimpse of emotional vulnerability in the harsh world of the frontier. However, Edward Albert's real life was not as peaceful as his characters. As the son of actor Eddie Albert, he faced heavy pressure from his family legacy. Edward often clashed with producers who viewed him as difficult and entitled. His romantic relationships were also famously unstable, especially a passionate affair with a Hollywood star in the late 70s that ended in a major tabloid scandal and a restraining order. In the early 2000s, Edward faced even more personal struggles, particularly during his environmental activism, which caused rifts with former allies who believed he used political reasons to hide deeper personal issues. He also had to cope with his father's Alzheimer's disease and his own declining health. In his later years, Edward lived a fairly isolated life and passed away from lung cancer on September 22, 2006, at the age of 55. Dennis Lipscomb, born on March 1, 1942, played President Ulysses S. Grant in Dr. Quinn in 1994 at the age of 52. Although his role was historical, his character was portrayed as a steadfast leader amid political turmoil. In real life, Lipscomb had a steady career, but mostly as a supporting actor. He was rarely cast in major leading roles, partly due to rumors about his hot temper and confrontational behavior in stage productions during the 70s and 80s. Many directors and colleagues expressed concern about his unpredictable attitude. Dennis also had conflicts with colleagues over control of certain scenes. His marriage fell apart due to extended absences and rumors of an affair with a younger co-star in the late 80s, although the matter was never officially confirmed. In his later years, he became increasingly reclusive as he struggled with undiagnosed neurological issues leading to isolation. Dennis Lipscomb passed away on July 30, 2014, at the age of 72 from natural causes. Sadly, he was largely forgotten by the industry he once worked hard to be a part of. If you find Dennis Lipscomb's story thought-provoking, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Share your perspective on his life and career as well as the ups and downs Dennis faced. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the fascinating stories coming up next. Born on January 25, 1937, Gregory Sierra played General Eli Parker in Dr. Quinn in 1994, at the age of 57. His character exuded a stern command presence, but in real life, Sierra was a deeply unstable and unpredictable person. Although he gained fame through Barney Miller, he was blacklisted by many major producers in the 1980s due to erratic behavior, including disputes and sudden walkouts from sets. His personal life was also filled with hardship when his wife passed away early from cancer, leaving Sierra in a fragile mental state from which he never fully recovered. He went through several religious conversions, seeking comfort, and even spent time involved with a spiritual group resembling a cult, which led to negative rumors about manipulation and financial loss. A few late career appearances couldn't restore his reputation, and Sierra passed away on January 4, 2021 from cancer, leaving behind a complicated legacy that few dare to fully acknowledge. Joe Lando, born on December 9, 1961, was the quintessential handsome man. Playing Byron Sully in Dr. Quinn at age 32 is a rugged hero with a brooding and deeply moral nature. However, Lando's private life was notoriously hard to pin down. His romantic relationship with Jane Seymour started as a passionate secret, but quickly turned into a tense confrontation, causing friction throughout the workplace. Although he kept a low profile, Lando was rumored to have a hot temper and be distant, with several intense disagreements leading to him dropping out of TV projects in the early 2000s. He also built a strong wall around his family life, but rumors of emotional distance and conflicts with one of his sons still persist. Now, 63-year-old Joe Lando has returned to acting with smaller roles, serving as a quiet echo of his former star status. Jane Seymour, born on February 15, 1951, was the resilient and graceful icon of Dr. Quinn at age 42. On screen, she portrayed a pioneering woman breaking traditional boundaries, but her personal life was full of turmoil that few fans knew about. She had 4 failed marriages, including a bitter divorce from businessman James Keach, marked by allegations of financial manipulation and public humiliation. Tense relationships during filming, along with rumors of controlling behavior and conflicts with directors and colleagues, especially Joe Lando, contributed to a complicated behind-the-scenes environment. Additionally, Jane Seymour stood out for her ability to reinvent her personal brand across generations, evolving from actress to designer and author. She skillfully maintained her presence in the entertainment industry by selectively choosing projects that aligned with her elegant and timeless image. However, insiders revealed that Seymour often exercised tight control over interviews and public appearances to avoid questions about her failed marriages or complicated past relationships. Nevertheless, her relentless dedication and ability to sustain her reputation have made her one of the rare Hollywood figures who can weather storms without losing her standing. Born on March 1, 1983, Tuvey appeared as Brian Cooper in 1993 at just 10 years old, the innocent and eager heart of the on-screen family. But behind the spotlight was a darker story. Tuvey quietly withdrew from Hollywood, though the official media line was that it was voluntary. Rumors of income disputes between his parents, the pressures of early fame, and the stress of casting sessions gradually eroded the boy's trust in the industry. Colleagues described Tuvey as becoming increasingly withdrawn during the later seasons of the show, and a producer once hinted at an incident that led to him being dropped from the cast list for a TV project. By the end of his teenage years, Tuvey had completely disappeared from the spotlight, turning down numerous major offers for teenage roles. As of 2025, at age 42, Tuvey lives very privately and is believed to have legally changed his name to escape the shadow of his former child star fame. Born on March 18, 1950, Jim Cobello played Jake Slicker in 1993, a character both charming and deeply flawed. Off-screen, Cobello was known for being difficult and intimidating with a gloomy attitude on set. His personal life fell apart in the late 90s with a bitter divorce and allegations of verbal abuse. The scandal worsened when it was revealed he had an illegitimate child during filming abroad. Cobello's career in the U.S. stalled after being blacklisted by a major network for refusing to follow direction and criticizing younger actors. However, he somewhat recovered by working in small theater productions in Australia. By 2025, at age 75, Cobello continued acting, though the industry remained cautious about him. Born on June 5, 1974. Chad Allen played Matthew Cooper in 1993, at 19 years old, the protective older brother full of inner conflict. He was the emotional anchor of the show, but off-screen Chad's career was devastated by a scandal in 1996, when tabloids published intimate photos of him with another man. The harsh backlash in Hollywood, still hostile toward openly gay actors at the time, almost destroyed his career. Chad shifted to activism, but was also accused of seeking attention. His personal life was turbulent, marked by an on-again, off-again relationship with actor Jeremy Glazer that ended bitterly. Chad Allen faced significant challenges not only in his career, but also in his personal life, which led him to grow and gain deeper insight. His transition into psychology was not just a career shift, but also a way for him to seek healing and help others overcome psychological struggles. Although no longer in the spotlight, Chad still maintains a loyal fan base and is widely respected for his courage in facing himself and sharing his story honestly. As of 2025, he lives a relatively private life, focusing on his new work and maintaining balance in his life. Born on September 17, 1963, William Shockley played Hank Lawson in 1993 at age 30. Hank was a tough, aggressive character who showed no remorse for his flaws, a complex role that reflected parts of Shockley's real personality. During the show's run, he was surrounded by rumors of altercations, especially with female crew members, and was accused of making crude remarks and exhibiting erratic behavior. Although there was no official evidence, personnel complaints reportedly mysteriously disappeared after the show ended. Shockley's career later suffered a series of setbacks with controversial film projects and business ventures, most notably a short-lived record label that ended amid lawsuits over unpaid royalties. In 2010, he was also involved in a defamation lawsuit related to a former co-star accused of spreading retaliatory rumors. Despite this, Shockley maintained a respectable public image, and by 2025, at age 61, he continued working on low-budget film projects and hosting podcasts, clinging to every bit of relevance he could in the industry. Born on August 18, 1942, Henry G. Sanders played Robert E. in 1993 at the age of 51. Robert E. was a skilled blacksmith, a steady presence amid the town's chaos in the show. But Sanders' real life was far from peaceful. Before gaining recognition on Dr. Quinn, struggled to get by with unstable work, and during the late 80s spent months sleeping in his car, too proud to ask for help. His marriage ended amid allegations of emotional neglect and financial irresponsibility. Though respected by colleagues for his talent, Sanders was known for being reserved and distant, often avoiding socializing with cast and crew. However, this also sometimes made it difficult for him to get along with production teams. In the early 2000s, Sanders struggled with severe depression, but never publicly acknowledged it, choosing to keep his personal matters private and overcoming the difficult period on his own. His withdrawal from fan events and social media was not only a way to protect himself, but also reflected his desire to focus on artistic quality rather than fame. By 2025, at the age of 82, Sanders still lives simply in California and rarely appears in public, but his career and image continue to be revered by colleagues and audiences as a symbol of perseverance and unwavering passion for art. Born on February 14, 1950. Frank Collison portrayed Horace Bing in 1993 at the age of 43. Horace is a naive and lovable character, but Collison's personal life was far from peaceful. He was known for his eccentricity, having lived in an artist community with a socialist-like structure, and briefly became involved with an extremist cult in the early 2000s that practiced energy healing through telepathy. The group was later investigated for financial fraud, though Collison was not charged. He distanced himself from his co-stars and the media during this period. During filming, Collison was noted for his erratic behavior, such as disappearing from the set for days without explanation and becoming obsessed with his acting methods, leading to inappropriate interactions. One crew member even accused him of stalking during a television project, which caused production to be temporarily halted. Despite this, Collison's uniqueness allowed him to continue landing suitable roles. By 2025, at the age of 75, he still occasionally acts, but lives a reclusive life in the countryside. Born on July 8, 1948, Joan Allen portrayed Grace in 1993 at the age of 45. Grace is a resilient businesswoman who proudly runs the town's cafe while battling racism and societal judgment. In real life, Allen was praised for her work on Broadway, but faced much disappointment in Hollywood, where black actresses were rarely given leading roles. She was considered difficult to work with, having clashed with directors, and even walked off set in the late 90s. Joan's private life was tumultuous, marked by childhood trauma from abuse and several toxic relationships. One affair with a married producer damaged her stage career. She was also sued for poor financial management. Despite always maintaining an optimistic exterior, those close to Allen say she became reclusive in her later years. By 2025, at 76, she lives alone in Los Angeles, teaching part-time, and refuses to participate in any reunions related to Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Born on March 19, 1963, Jeffrey Lower played Reverend Timothy Johnson in 1993 at the age of 30. His character was a symbol of kindness and spiritual guidance. However, in real life, Lower earned the nickname the Gloomy Preacher in tabloids. He had a highly publicized breakup with actress Kristy Swanson, ending with a restraining order that took his colleagues by surprise. The media speculated about his mood swings and extreme perfectionism, which led to frequent arguments with directors. One producer referred to him as a nightmare due to his outbursts and rigid moral judgments, which made many colleagues feel uncomfortable and impatient during production. Although he was never formally charged, his name appeared in an internal memo in 1999, which referenced inappropriate behavior, sparking many questions and negatively impacting his personal image as well as his career opportunities. His career sharply declined in the 2000s as major projects almost entirely stopped calling for him, forcing him to turn to smaller independent films to maintain his passion for acting. By 2025, at 62 years old, he continues to act, but only collaborates with a select few directors who are patient enough and willing to endure his infamous temperament, showcasing his persistent dedication to the craft despite facing numerous personal and professional challenges. Born on November 1, 1962, Helen Udy played Myra Bing in 1993 at the age of 31. Myra is a former prostitute with a heart of gold, a character who is very vulnerable. Udy's life, however, was just as turbulent. Known in the indie film world for her erratic behavior, she was fired from at least 2 projects in the late 90s due to emotional breakdowns. She experimented with hallucinogens and became involved with extremist spiritual groups, spending a year living reclusively in an artist commune in New Mexico. An ex-boyfriend accused her of psychological manipulation and filed for a restraining order in 2005, though Udy did not contest it. She attempted a comeback on stage with an unusual one-woman show, which critics described as blurring the lines between reality and delusion. By 2025, at 62 years old, Udy still acts in low-budget horror films while promoting esoteric health content to a small online group. Do you know anyone among your friends or family who has experienced mental health struggles or career challenges? If yes, leave a 1, if not, comment 0. What do you think of Helen Udy's journey from the stage, lights to horror roles, and promoting esoteric health? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button to support the channel, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories ahead.